Hey everybody, this is Yudhishtir on the Harley-Davidson India Insta handle, and today we're going to be talking to my friend and brother Purab Kohli on Passport to Freedom Season 2. Big shout out to all of you for joining us. Peace Sagar, hello. Vijay, hi. Vikas Ramesh, hi. A lot of people joining in. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be sharing some interesting experiences on motorcycles we've had, and I'm sure you guys will take back something, or you'll probably send me a lot of hate mail. Either way, we're prepared. Good to see you guys on the Harley-Davidson India Insta handle. We've got some big fans of Harley-Davidson tuned in today. And in a short while, I'm going to be bringing on Purab Kohli, and we're going to be talking about our motorcycling experiences on a Harley-Davidson and basically on a motorcycle that we've enjoyed. And we'd like to share those stories because the whole idea of Passport to Freedom is to share motorcycling adventures and stories that we've had with all fellow bikers like yourselves who've tuned in today, and hopefully we might inspire you to straddle on a motorcycle and hit the highway. But these are crazy times. I hope you guys are staying safe, secure, and healthy, because once things open up, trust me, I'm going to be getting on a motorcycle without doubt. Itching to do that. All right, time now to invite my friend and brother Purab Kohli. Just give me a minute. Purab,
hello,
welcome to welcome to Passport to Freedom Season 2 in association with Harley-Davidson. Okay, Purab, you're all the way in another country and experiencing a whole different, COVID season. So how's it for you in England? How are you feeling? How things shaping up in England?
Nice blue skies and sunny.
We're in Delhi. I'm in Delhi right now. It's blistering hot.
Oh God!
But right now it's evening time, so it's a little cool. So how are you doing, Purab?
I'm well, brother. Getting along. It's an unusual time in the world, so I mean, you just gotta ride it out, you know. It's like the bumpy
Absolutely.
roads.
Ride it out, and that's exactly what.
Like those bumpy roads we had while coming down from public.
But you know, once the bumpy roads finish, there's always a smooth highway waiting for you to open up your motorcycle.
That one, we know that.
And
one.
we've had some fun on that.
Yeah,
We've had some fun on that.
Those smooth highways that
So, Purab,
mobile and sunglasses fly off.
I've had some bad experiences on a motorcycle. I've lost my mobile phone, my sunglasses, all because I try and do a lot of crazy things while riding.
All because you're
but
trying
I
to
don't.
keep up with me. All because you're trying to keep up with me.
You know, the view, the view from behind is so nice. I'm just kidding.
I did see your mobile phone fly out in 48 frames in front of me when you zipped past at probably 100 miles faster than I was riding.
That was a crazy time, you know. We were, I think, passing through Sholapur, and my mobile just popped out of my jacket and fell somewhere. But I remembered where it fell, and I tried reaching my phone. So somebody picked it up and said he's got the phone. So when we were returning back, I picked up my phone. That was really cool.
That was,
you know, there are good people in the world.
Phone back.
There are good people in the world.
Yeah.
So
and also thanks to Find My Phone. You knew where your phone was.
Find My Phone, yeah. Have all that technology. But, you know, nothing beats a good organic experience. I mean, no amount of technology can really give you that kind of amazing feeling. So that's exactly what Passport to Freedom is all about. It's about motorcycling adventures. It's about motorcycling experiences that, enthusiasts have had. And I feel, especially when deciding on a route or deciding on a motorcycle trip, you try and listen to other motorcyclists and their stories and kind of choose a route. So let me just start out this amazing Insta Live with you and with a whole lot of motorcyclists who've tuned in to this amazing Insta Live session with
Hi, guys.
Harley-Davidson.
Hello.
So, Purab, when did lots of people saying hi, lots of fans. There you are. Somebody's an all-time crush. Okay, Purab Kohli, I'm a big fan. Lots of fans tuning in today. So let's get this conversation off the road. Okay, so when did the motorcycle bug bite you? When did you feel like you wanted to get on a motorcycle and start riding?
So, very, very interestingly, you just mentioned about, getting on. The best part about a trip is when you share stories with other riders and other, I used to be a driver for a very long time. I used to drive around the country and I used to really enjoy that. Travel bug has bitten me when I was very young.
Absolutely.
In fact, much before I was driving or riding, because my father is an extensive traveler and he always took me along on his trips. So I remember when I was doing a trip back in, I'm not a born like you, you were like sort of pretty much on a motorcycle as soon as you could ride, when you were on two wheels. With me, I started riding very late in my life. And because that's primarily, not that I was not smitten by motorbikes, I was very smitten by motorcycles. And, when we were in college, some of our friends who had bikes and we would like sort of go for little spins around. But my mother was very afraid about getting me a motorcycle. And even when I started earning money, which was quite young, she never let me buy a motorcycle myself. And I remember very late in the day, it was around 2005 or 2006, I was doing this road trip around India. I was up in Spiti, so I was not around India. I was up in Spiti, and I was incidentally traveling.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful part of India.
Beautiful part of India, and we were driving through Spiti in a Qualis, in a Toyota Qualis, and it was the Qualis belonged to a relative of mine who was a travel writer, and she and there were some friends, and we were sort of driving through and. Finally, we arrived we came down to Himachal and we came to Tirthan, to the river Tirthan, and we were in a place called Gusheni. And while we were in Gusheni, there was another travel writer, famous chap called Rishad Mehta, who came down there, and he was test driving, doing something also for Toyota, but it was an Innova, and we were in a Qualis, and we were sitting and chatting. And both these travel writers started exchanging all their stories, and Rishad also sort of writes for Autocar India, and he reviews bikes, he reviews cars, and he also does a lot of travel content. So Rishad and Madhavi, who's the other travel writer, they both got chatting and they started extensively talking about motorcycle riding through the region, and they and I know this is Harley-Davidson, but at that point of time, I don't think Harley-Davidson had a presence in India. And the big talk was about the Royal Enfield, the Bullet, the traditional Bullet. And that's sort of a dream everybody harbored. And I was like, what's this Bullet all about? What's this motorcycle riding on two wheels all about? And I remember my next trip to Goa, which was probably with you. I don't know if you were on that trip with me. I can't remember. But I rented, the first time in my life, I rented a geared motorcycle, geared motorcycle. And before that, it was all these, which I still feel are very efficient in cities, the kinetic Honda.
The scooters, Just press brake and accelerate.
Yeah, the simple way forward, and especially when you have shopping and all to do. So I still feel those are great for city riding. But when you're up on an open road, you need something more high-powered.
Yeah.
That trip in Goa, I rented a motorcycle, and I just fell in love, man. And after that, it was that feeling. And so I started late. But then I went very quickly to super bikes, and I think it's a large influence from you for getting a super bike, because when you bought your super bike, I was still on the Enfield, and I was smitten by your bike, and I was like, okay, man, it's time for me to get an upgrade. I was scared, honestly, jumping from 350cc to 800 or 1000cc. It's just like a little unnerving,
It's a big jump.
Jump. So
especially most of these bikes are really like high powered, and you really need to know how to get your hand around it and your head around it.
Yeah.
Because,
but it's been 15 years now since I've been riding, and interestingly, Rishad and me still talk about that trip, because I was introduced to motorcycles on that trip, and Rishad and me now harbor a dream of because I live in London and I work in India. Do these trips all the time, and you know that I wanted to ride my motorcycle.
Yeah.
So Rishad and me still talk about doing Bombay to Buckingham Palace as a joke. It's like one day we'll take our motorcycles or we'll drive all the way across.
So that's doable. That's doable.
Yeah, it's doable.
Just if you manage to get through some tricky parts of the continent
and manage to make time for it. So yourself.
Yeah, manage to take, because it'll take about what, 3 to 4 months to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, I think so. It should take about. It depends on how you want to do it. You can do it in 2-3 weeks if you like. If you're just constantly driving non-stop.
But no, you want to experience the road. You want to experience the people. That's what, for me, motorcycle adventures is all about. Not the destination, but it's actually the whole adventure and the route. You stop, you get a cup of tea, you chat with the locals, you stop and watch like beautiful sceneries. You take in as much as possible, because the real adventure is riding, the in-between parts, which is what is like beautiful about riding a motorcycle. Because in a car, you're cooped up, you're stuck in this little metal cabin. But on a motorcycle, you feel powerful. You feel like you're on something that you're in control of, but sometimes maybe not. But I've had those experiences. But
it's nice.
But most of the
exactly what you're saying, to have the liberty to just make decisions on the trip, and say, I want to do it. So you never know how long. Like the trip you and me did, I'll tell the viewers over here that Yudhishtir and me did a trip once together, where we actually set out with no goal. We set out to reach Goa in about 4 or 5 days. We just said we'll leave Bombay and we'll reach Goa in 4 or 5 days and we'll figure out something en route. And we did some back and forth. We went up, we came down, we went there, we went there.
We had
fun. We just didn't. We had no real plan. In between, we went in for a major party somewhere.
Yeah.
In Rodango.
No hotel booking. No plan in mind. But that's the fun. And especially with Bombay to Goa, you can do it in 8 to 9 hours or 12 hours, depending on how your riding skills are. But I know some crazy people who've done it in lesser. But I don't want to encourage speed demons. Because, sometimes the highways are not very safe places, because you might have a dog running through, or like some villager crossing the road. You don't want to have any untowardly incidents. So it's better to ride at an easy pace, at an easy speed, and try and get to your destination. So on the Bombay to Goa trip, which would you say is your favorite part of that route?
Well, first of all, I would take a longer route. So I would take, and especially the kind of motorcycle I've ridden, so now high-powered, big motorcycle. You want some open highway, straight stretch of road, more than bumpy, curvy stuff, like something to fly on. And I think the best stretch is Kolhapur to Belgaum. So I would take the longer route. I would go down to Belgaum, and then from Belgaum turn into the Chola Ghat, and then come down into Goa. So I think that stretch is really enjoyable. Highway number 4. Largely now, right from after Pune, after you pass the Chandni Chowk in Pune and all, then it's great. Yeah. It's superb to ride straight.
The minute you pass Pune and Sholapur, suddenly it becomes an exciting trip. Because Satara. Yeah. Satara. Because Satara has Pune and Satara has lots of traffic, flowing on the highway. It gets a little tricky because you really can't have fun, because you're constantly looking over your shoulder and wondering which truck is going to pass you by and how to maneuver through the road. But once you get through that, and the ghats are amazing, especially that part, the Chola Ghats that you were talking about.
But tell us a little. But that section from Kolhapur to Belgaum, I think the fastest I've ridden a motorcycle is on that stretch, and if you have a good bike, then it's really fun.
It's amazing, and especially riding on the ghats is tricky. But if you know how to control the bike, you know how to maneuver the curves. It's actually such a pleasure, because
which I have learned very well from you, Yudi. I know. I honestly, I learned a lot about heavyweight motorcycles. See, motorcycles. Someone told me once that when you reach a point with motorcycles, which is, there's so many beautiful motorcycles out there. You can't really stick to say that a particular brand makes the best motorcycles, because they all are great motorcycles. And then you get used to something, or you enjoy certain aspects of certain motorcycles,
Absolutely.
So, if you're on a straight highway, you have these high-powered bikes. I had never ridden them before, because I came from a which I loved. I had the old Bullet, which was a
Yeah.
big cast iron engine going dum 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 dum. But it was a beauty to ride, and it was just to make me feel like a king. And the balance of the motorcycle, the weight of it.
Old school.
And then I moved to this heavyweight 800cc motorcycle, and then suddenly I had a tough time in the beginning. And thanks to you teaching me some of maneuvering that heavy and my motorcycle was quite different from yours. So but one understood and learned to get from the kind of motorcycle you're riding.
Absolutely. And even like if you take a Harley-Davidson, it's got a lovely, when you sit on a Harley-Davidson, you feel like almost you're riding like a king.
Bro, when I sit on a Harley-Davidson, I think I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It just gives you that feeling like you arrived, that badass vibe. And that's what I love about those motorcycles.
Fat boy.
Even when
you're,
the fat boy vibe. Even when you're riding on a highway, no matter which bike flies by, you kind of tend to look at a Harley-Davidson only because of the riding position and just the way the biker looks on that motorcycle.
I think our generation had some influences in our lives. When we were, when I, at least me, when I was growing up, I saw Tom Cruise in Top Gun, and I said I wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
And you saw Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 riding that fat boy. And it's like, that shot when he jumps over the bridge and it lands and all the sparks come out of the bottom of the motorcycle. Like, I want that bike.
That was legendary. Actually,
legendary.
Harley-Davidson motorcycles have been in quite a few, cult motorcycle films. Right. Like you have the Ghost Rider, you have like Easy Rider. I don't know if you remember this film.
Cult motorcycle company. And I always wondered whether they gave you a shotgun. For a long time, I wondered if you got a shotgun free.
But it does make you feel like, a little studly, a little like, I've got the vibe. But talking about motorcycles and talking about motorcycle journeys, is there a moment that you've had on a motorcycle while on your trips that has stayed with you, that has kind of given you some, like made you feel something? Because every trip gives you something of meaning, especially on a motorcycle. I've had so many wonderful experiences. And just recently this summer when I was riding in Spain, I had such a cathartic experience just on the motorcycle, me and looking at the scenery. I felt like I was just in a blissful place. Like I can't even explain the feeling. Did you have any experience like that?
So yeah, if you ever sat on a motorcycle and ridden long enough, there are numerous experiences that one can feel, and there's joy in feeling the air, the breeze in your hair, the power behind the motorcycle, especially when you're overtaking low-powered cars and you just lower a gear and your fast motorcycle just takes off. I mean, it's a great smaller feeling. But I think one of the most amazing feelings I've had on a motorcycle, I was riding down once from Khardungla, coming down from Khardungla Pass in Ladakh. And it's a long sort of curvy road that goes down for an hour or so, hour and a half or something.
I've been on that road. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you're just riding downhill, So I rode up. I first rode up, and then we did our whole party up there, and then we came back down. And I remember, because you're buzzing a little bit with the high altitude, and you just want to go back down now. You want to go back to Leh.
Just, I hope, on the high altitude.
Yeah,
nothing else.
Nothing else. A little bit on the motorcycle also, but mostly on the high altitude. And then you start riding down, and then, like suddenly 30 minutes into the ride, I forgot where my hands and legs were. It just felt like it was the motorcycle was an extension of me, Yeah. And I think that feeling I have felt often on a motorcycle, where you're riding for, because, I tend to not ride for more than maximum an hour and a half, 2 hours, then I stop, a little break. So after about 45 minutes or an hour of riding, I get this one phase in motorcycle riding where I just feel like the motorcycle becomes a part of my body. So it's not my hands steering the motorcycle anymore. It's like sort of my body,
It's just it's like one unit. It's one unit moving through the roads.
It's a feeling that you can only feel if you have ridden motorcycles long enough. I'm sure lots of people watching this have felt that before. But it's amazing. It also happens with a horse. I've had that feeling while riding a horse. So where you feel the horse, the lower part.
No wonder they have the horsepower connection there.
the horsepower connection there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
But no, you know,
but a motorcycle can be more in control than a horse. The horse has a mind.
it can. I mean, it has a mind. I've had a bad experience on horses. I prefer motorcycles, and I think I'll stick with motorcycles. Okay, so now we're living in a crazy world. Things seem to be rather different from what we're used to. Now, once things open up and once life gets back to normal, is there a destination that you want to hit on a motorbike? Is there some place you want to go?
You know, UD, I've always told you this. I want to do Bombay to London, man. That's my dream.
Bombay to London.
As Rishad and me keep talking about it,
Yeah.
we've realized that because, you know, Rishad and me meet still. We are both members of the same club in Bombay.
Yeah.
We chat
Yeah.
every now and then. And Bombay to London is a journey, either on a motorcycle or in a car or on foot or in a bus. We don't mind. But we want to do it. You know, we want to make that a dream. It's a dream that we've harbored for 14, 15 years. So I think we definitely we keep talking now and then and trying to see how we can make it possible. But primarily it's a time thing. You know, it's like how do we get hold of 2 months or 3 months? If you want to do it comfortably, you need that much time to sort of to do it. So that is one destination I'm very, very keen on to do on a do on wheel. I'm a big fan of driving also. So I mean, motorcycling is great, but I also am a big fan of driving. So I'm very comfortable doing both.
But you know, the whole experience, like I said, I've done both. But every time I get on a motorcycle and I ride, I feel there's more connection to the journey. There's more connection to the things around because you know, I have the option of being more free to choose which way I want to. Like in a car, you've got to like stick to your lane. There's a lot of things.
The motorcycle definitely goes an extra mile.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
I mean, when I used to ride my Bullet, I used to go off the highway suddenly into a field and start climbing up a hill. And you know, I didn't bother. I just took it wherever I wanted to go because I saw Pug Dundee and I used to go onto the Pug Dundee. You know?
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, that's the thing. With a car, you can't. With a motorcycle, if it has the capacity to do some off-roading, actually, there are unlimitless possibilities. And that's one thing I really like about, especially mostly with Harley-Davidson as a motorcycle company. They kind of promote this concept of customization. They really want you to make the motorcycle yours and make it as in every time you go and buy a Harley-Davidson, you've got to kind of not just walk in there and pick up a motorcycle and ride it out the showroom. You've got to like style it and customize it to your liking and personality. All right, lots of lovely people tuning in. I think I'm going to get Purab back on. He's, oh, there it is. Somebody wants a free Harley-Davidson. I mean, you could get a free Harley-Davidson t-shirt, but not a motorcycle. Lots of lovely folks joining in. I'm just going to look for Purab again. There he is, adding him back on. Like I said, we're on Passport to Freedom Season 2 with Harley-Davidson, the motorcycle company that believes that exciting adventures.
The network is really bad, so I logged off for a bit.
Hey, Purab, welcome back again.
I heard you say that someone is looking for a free Harley-Davidson motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's looking for a freebie. Wait in line. Even I want that.
But good things should be paid for, Yudi. What do you think?
Good things should be paid for because then only you value it, right? I mean, if you get it free, then you have no value for it. You probably won't use it. Oh, there are a lot of people there saying which Harley-Davidson should I get? I mean, there are multiple choices to choose from. Why don't you get onto the website?
This is one question which is the hardest question to answer. Which bike should I get? Which Harley should I get? Because there's so many options.
There are quite a few options, and you have different riding styles. So, and there is a bike for you with the style that you want. So, which one would you choose? Which is that bike that from the Harley-Davidson stable?
Me?
If you were, you.
Fat boy.
Oh, you like the big muscular motorcycles?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is the reason being?
I mean, for me, Harley-Davidson has always symbolized that, you know, it's symbolized muscle power, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the Fat Boy is the one that did it for me, you know, when I saw it in Terminator. That's definitely one I would look at, you know, first and say that I want to.
You know, so the concept of motorcycle adventures and trips really came from Hollywood because you saw all those film stars and the movies, especially Easy Rider, which had all those amazing choppers and motorcycles and Harley-Davidson motorcycles and these bad boys on it, which was completely cult. I love the film. So to be honest, I was inspired by that whole motorcycle culture in America to want my own motorcycle. That was one of the big reasons. Where did you find your inspiration to get your motorcycle? Like, was it films? Was it just going through magazines or friends? Where was that inspiring moment that said, okay, I want my motorcycle?
So as I said, it was that trip in Gusheni.
Okay, so
yeah, so I've said that story already, but
yeah.
I think when I was younger, I mean, just the little craving of wanting to ride a motorcycle. There was a friend of mine who you know him, Aman. So
Aman, yeah, of course.
So Aman is a dear friend of mine, and we've been school friends. So we are kids together. So when we were in college, Aman got himself a RX 100.
Two-stroke goal.
We all try to do a wheelie on a RX 100. So I think a certain bug came in there, because I mean that's another beautiful motorcycle. The sound of it. When I was growing up in Bangalore, there was a massive scene of motocrossing and drag racing. It's still there in Bangalore, the big motorcycling culture. So the bikes that used to really be the ones to look out for were the two-strokes, like the RX, the Shogun. And there was another bike which was put out by the tea company, Brooke Bond, called BSA Bond 50. It was a 50cc motorcycle, so much fun to ride. I loved riding that. That was actually the first motorcycle I rode, and it was such a thrill. Everybody would jack up the suspension, put some motocross tires on, and you just just go for it, hit the road. It was so much fun. There's some motorcycles, and Harley actually is one of the ones that I remember. I have a clear memory of that. The sounds are so important. The sounds stick with you.
The sounds stick with you.
I remember once I was riding I was very proud of my Bullet sound, which was the old cast iron pump that And I was riding in Goa. I was living in Goa for a little while.
Yeah.
So I was in Goa and I was riding, and India Bike Week was going on, and I was riding into the Anjuna side. I was going to the supermarket or something, and I was not going for the. But then suddenly I heard this, this massive sort of thumping that started coming from behind me, and there were some 50 Harleys that went past me. Dum, 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 dum. And it was quite an experience, just to sort of have 50 of those bikes all sounding and roaring across you. It's really, really, really a special
It's
sound.
amazing.
Also, and then there was a small group of even RDs that went by, and they have a growl. They went by, and so every motorcycle has its own sort of sound. Even that's something that starts ringing in your ear, and you start enjoying that sound.
Absolutely. This whole riding together, the brotherhood, and riding in groups. Harley-Davidson's kind of been instrumental in creating these chapters across the country where people buy Harley-Davidson motorcycles, join this group of bikers, and they ride together, they choose destinations. It's a lot of fun. Actually, you build a lot of great relationships on a motorcycle. I've seen that. And Harley-Davidson was one of the first companies that, when the India Bike Week was being conceptualized, they supported this kind of a movement. And I'm glad that you noticed while in Goa that there was this whole vibe and environment of motorcyclists just growling through the streets. And that's exactly what I felt when I was there at the India Bike Week. So many motorcyclists just living their passion. And there were so many Harley-Davidson motorcycle chapters from across the country riding in. It was fantastic fun. Now,
hey, Yuri, is Harley doing the electric bike in India or
what? There is so right now, electric is the big movement. They do have an electric bike. They have been developing the electric concept for a while, but I'm not sure when it's going to hit the roads in India. But if you go onto the website, you can actually see some of the bikes that they are setting up. There is an electric Harley-Davidson, but I'm not sure when it's going to get into India. But electric now is the way to go, because if you're conscious of the planet's health, then I think. But it'll be interesting to see what the electric Harley sounds like, because, like you said, a Harley-Davidson is all about the sound and the growl.
Well, I drive a hybrid car which has got an electric motor also, so I get a handful of miles on electricity, and it's impossible. You can't hear the car. I mean, it's dangerous almost. You feel like people crossing the street are not paying attention to you.
I don't know. For me, I have to feel that thump come through the chassis of the motorcycle while I'm riding it, because that's what gives me the feeling of actually being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So Harley-Davidson's launched a new motorcycle.
Most motorcycle riders are addicted to fossil fuel.
Absolutely.
Like it or not. Yeah.
No, that's true. Harley-Davidson's launched a new motorcycle recently. And it's coinciding with this. In India, yeah, it just launched a new motorcycle. It's called the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. It's a really beautiful motorcycle. It's modeled on the Softail chassis, the Harley-Davidson Softail chassis. And they've kind of put in some suspension tweaks. So to give you a more smooth, aggressive, and agile riding experience. So whenever you're in India, I'm sure that we can get you on one of those motorcycles. They just launched in April 2020. It's called
Harley. I sold my bike in India now, so I've asked Harley if they want to give me a bike to ride around with you. We can go on a trip together.
That would be amazing. So just to give you a look of the motorcycle, here it is. This is the Lowrider S. It's a really cool motorcycle. I love the position. And one of the things I love about the motorcycle is the handlebars. It's this motocross handlebar, which is slightly raised. And it gives you a nice
look also, a little bit.
It's basically styled on the coastal design concept, which is a big movement in Southern California. So the whole, if you look at the motorcycle, it's got a beautiful look. And I love the riding position. If you see this guy on the motorcycle, it's giving you that aggressive, control. Because usually when you think of Harley-Davidson, you don't think of this kind of a riding experience, but you can actually push this if you want to. It's really beautiful. It's the Lowrider S, which was launched in India this April 2020. It's got this amazing engine. It's an 1868cc engine, 6-speed transmission. So it's got a lot of
1800.
Yeah, 1868cc. Yeah, it's really cool. It's got like a powerful engine. It's got what they call the Milwaukee 8 114 engine. So that's kind of a registered concept from Harley-Davidson, the Milwaukee 8. That's where the main Harley-Davidson factory is, Milwaukee in America. So it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of culture. It's a great looking bike. And because the look of the Lowrider S is part of the whole Southern California coastal design movement. So it has that 1980s vibe to it. So it has a little bit of a retro look to it. If you look at if you look at the motorcycle, it has a slightly retro vibe, which gives it that really interesting feel. So yeah, when you're back in India and the roads are open, we should get on one of these motorcycles and hit the roads. Harley-Davidson, I hope you're listening to us, because we want to ride the Lowrider S. Yeah, and then
I won't ride the Lowrider S.
Okay, so getting back, let's have some fun. We've got a lot of fans who've tuned in today, and people who really enjoy your work as an actor, people who enjoy your storytelling on how you enjoy riding motorcycles. So we're going to chat with them for a bit. But I've got a quick fire round. Let's say hello to everybody. Gaurav Kapoor will take me. He's asking us if he'll take him in a sidecar. Of course. Gaurav, you're always welcome.
My mother, Gaurav Kapoor, my aunt, I can see all of them saying things.
All right. We have somebody offering us a lot of love. There it is. So lots of people. So which Harley does the host dream about? I think, I like I said, a slightly more aggressive motorcycle. So I'm liking what the Lowrider looks like, because it's got that aggressive position. I like that aggressive motocross handlebar, which kind of is my style of motorcycle if I were to ride a Harley on the roads of India or anywhere. I've ridden the Harley. Actually, I've ridden the 48. It was a great ride from Bombay to Goa. I'll talk about that later. But now let's test Purab's motorcycle knowledge. Purab, are you ready for a quick fire round?
All right.
Okay. So,
Can you
I'm gonna show you.
SMS me the answers?
No. You gotta come up with this. Come on, everybody's expecting you to know your motorcycles. So let's see if you know your motorcycles. Okay, there are 3 images here. If you can see, there are 3 images here. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one of these images is a Harley-Davidson chopper? There's a chopper.
I think it's A.
Does that look like a motor? I mean, I don't know how you're going to straddle this motorcycle because
Brother,
it's
but
really going
it's a chopper, and I think it says Harley-Davidson on it, so it's a chopper.
No, come on. So which one is it? Which one is a Harley-Davidson chopper?
B.
Absolutely, the chopper.
Who can get that wrong?
Yeah, the chopper made famous in America because, like I said, customization. And C is the Harley-Davidson bobber. So, like I said, Harley-Davidson is a great platform for customization. You can really customize the bike.
Good-looking motorcycles. Such good-looking motorcycles, man.
You know the idea.
Of course, not
so
the
it's
first
great.
one, but
Yeah, the first one doesn't look anything like a motorcycle, but the second one definitely does look like a badass motorcycle. I love this chopper design.
Have you ever ridden something like that, Yuri?
So, not exactly like this, but there was somebody in Goa during the IBW who'd designed a chopper. But no, I didn't get to ride it, but I did see it. There's a guy in Goa who lives there. He's an Englishman. I think it's Barebone Custom. I'm not sure the name of the company, but he's done something with a Harley-Davidson and created a chopper like this. But I prefer the bobber. It's got a more easier. Sorry, that's a Harley-Davidson bobber. So that's another kind of style of bike. So basically, most of these bikes are modified, and like you have cafe racers, you have bobbers, you have like choppers. There are a whole load, scramblers. So there are multiple different types of bikes. So that's why I love Harley-Davidson, is because it's an open platform. You can actually choose to modify and customize your bike to the kind of style you like, because you have a great engine and the chassis is open to modifications. You can literally strip the bike, choose how you want to like position your handlebar, your rear tire. So it's a great platform for building motorcycles. That's why I love Harley-Davidson, because it's a really open platform, gives you a lot of opportunities to customize a bike to your choice. Moving on to the next question, and you got one right. That was a chopper, made very popular by the biker gangs in America. Now, do you know your road signs? Okay, let's see if you know your road signs. So there are 3 options. You got to tell me which option is correct. Option number 1, this road sign signifies if this is a army base. Option B, angry people with swords up ahead. Option C, site of a historical battlefield.
All right.
Of a historical battlefield. What does this signify? No, this could be anywhere. Let's see if people know this answer. The question is simple. What does this road sign signify? Gaurav Kapoor says ninjas up ahead. Somebody there said option C. Oh, somebody said option C, which is right. And even Alicia.
I said option C.
Oh, you said option C.
I said historical battle. That's option C, right?
Yeah, it is. Historical battle site. But so yeah, a couple of people got it right.
I would be worried to be in a country that was using swords still in the army.
That's a scary one. But yeah, so a lot of road signs across the world are so different from the ones we are used to seeing on the Indian roads. A couple of crazy ones that I've seen on the Indian roads too, especially when you're riding up from Manali to Ladakh.
Yudi, that I've been driving and riding for so many years, and I've been driving for like 20 plus years now in India.
Yeah.
And I came here,
Yeah.
when I shifted to the UK, I had to get my license over here. And I failed the theory test, man, because of road signs.
Yeah, road signs are a tricky
I
one.
went
Road
in saying,
signs are
no,
a
it's
tricky.
like, see, I've been driving for so
Oh, this one. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, there it is. So a lot of people got the answer right. Yes, this is the sign of a historical battlefield. So if you're ever driving along the highway and you see this, you know you're closing towards a historical battlefield. Okay, next question. This is a rapid fire one. Let's see how quirky and how crazy you can get. If a ferry, when you're on your motorcycle, you're riding through, let's say, the countryside in England, and suddenly a fairy appeared. I don't know why, but she just decided to appear. And she gives you one wish. You have to choose one wish from these three options. Okay? So which wish would you choose? You're on a motorcycle, there's a fairy, you've not had anything to drink, so you're not hallucinating, don't worry. She's actually there, and she's got one wish for you.
No, you don't need to drink things to hallucinate. You can do other things also to hallucinate.
You know, come on, hey, they're kids on this. They're kids on this. I'm just kidding. But anyway, moving on. So, three wishes. You've got to choose one wish from her three wishes, okay? First wish, a date with Gal Gadot, okay, in her Wonder Woman costume. But you have a blindfold for the entire date, and you've got to socially distance from her because of the COVID situation. Okay, so option one, a date with Gal Gadot in a Wonder Woman costume, blindfolded and socially distancing from her. Option two, a garage filled with the coolest motorcycles for you to keep forever. Option three, a chance to sleep in the presidential suite at the Ritz Paris
Not option one.
in a Superman costume,
No.
eating a super combo meal while watching Sound of Music. Which one will you do? A date with Gal Gadot, but you're blindfolded and you've got a social
Sorry, I
distance
missed
from her.
option two, Yuri. I lost network.
Can you hear me? Nitin says option two. Let's see what Purab will see. Oh,
Yeah,
like,
I got A.
oh, you're going for Gal Gadot. Okay, so Gal Gadot, a date with Gal Gadot.
No. I'm not going for that. I got option. I said I got option one. I've not.
Rima Chaudhary is saying option B. So option B is a garage filled with the coolest motorcycles for you to keep forever. And option C is a chance to sleep at the presidential suite in the Ritz, Paris, wearing a Superman costume, eating a super combo meal.
Option B. Option B. Option B.
I was just trying to see how crazy you would be. A lot of people are choosing option two any day. I mean, if I had a garage filled with motorcycles to wake up to every day, I'd be the most blessed person. There's this guy somewhere close to Baroda. He's got close to 300 motorcycles in his garage. 300 motorcycles. Wow. And you can name the motorcycles, he's got it. You can name the motorcycles, he's got it. And I think that's one garage.
Wow.
A motorcycle a day, maybe, and then weekends off with the family, the other 56 days. Okay, Purab, final question before we chat up with some of the people who've tuned into this. So final question, Purab. There's only one helmet between you and this really amazing woman you've taken out on a date. Now you have three options. You only have one helmet and one motorcycle.
My wife says, you're my wife. She's hearing your interview. I'm just saying my wife.
Lucy, this is just like, this is guy talk. Okay. But you're on a date. Okay, you're on a date. Let's say you weren't married. You're on a date. And you have this motorcycle and you only have one helmet. You have three options. Yeah.
Okay.
Just for this question. You have three options. One, you'd call an Uber for her and send her home. Okay. Option two, give her your helmet and your motorcycle keys and tell her that you'll collect your motorcycle tomorrow. Option C, you'd park the motorcycle aside call for a cab, drop her home, and come back and pick your motorcycle up. What would you do? You only have one helmet between the two of you.
What's the question though? I heard the options. I lost network.
Okay, so wearing a helmet is an important safety accessory when you're on a motorcycle. So even if you have a pillion, you should have a motorcycle helmet. That's kind of the thing to do. And that is something everybody should do. Wear a helmet no matter what, whenever you're on a motorcycle. So you have one helmet between you and your date, and you finish the date, you had a great time, and now you're exiting the restaurant, and she sees that you have a motorcycle and you only have one helmet. What would you do? You have three options. Call an Uber and send her home. Give her your helmet and the keys to your motorcycle and tell her you'll collect it tomorrow. Option 3, park your bike somewhere safe, call a cab, drop her home, and come back for your bike. What would you do? I know what I do.
Option D, which is go to the shop and buy another helmet.
I just call for an Uber and tell her to head back home, because I would never leave my motorcycle at a place I'm not comfortable leaving it in, because I love my motorcycle. Yeah, so option A for me. There are a couple of people who like option A. Some people saying option C. They're really good. Somebody is choosing
why did
two
you
options, A and C. And somebody are just cursing us. I don't know why. Then there's somebody who said option C. So option C seems to be the popular one. Be the gentleman, call for a cab, drop her home, come back and get your bike. But I'm not a gentleman. I love my motorcycle. So I think I'm going to stick with option A. Purab,
well, since we can't talk about unsafe riding, we don't have those options, right?
No, you don't have those options. So what would you do, Purab? Come on. The country wants to know.
Well, since we are being well behaved, I'll say option C.
I knew you'd do that. I knew. But Purab, you're a sweet guy. So I'm sure that you would do that no matter what. Purab, it was great talking to you. We had a lot of fun on this amazing session. A lot of people here tuned in and engaged with us. And the whole idea about this Passport to Freedom with Harley-Davidson is about exchanging stories with various motorcyclists and sharing experiences and trying and building a community, a brotherhood of people who enjoy riding motorcycles. And now with the new Harley-Davidson Lowrider S, which is now in India since April 2020, another motorcycle one can choose from the mega stable of Harley-Davidson. So when you're back in India, we're going to get on the Lowrider S and go for a spin, that's for sure.
You have to get Harley to crack this deal. Yeah, I want to go on this Lowrider.
It's a lovely looking motorcycle. I think it's, and somebody's saying, thanks Nitin for joining us. Rima saying the brotherhood only.
Can I just say a quick hello to everybody who's been sending me so many messages.
Please.
So I remember getting a lot of hearts from Mona Rai. So hey Mona Rai. Hey
Mona Rai.
Yeah. There's some people who are calling us names that are obscene, that we'll ignore them. Mom, there's my aunt, there's Gaurav, brother.
Sandhya says you look awesome, Purab. Purab is the sexiest man alive. His acting is amazing in Sense 8.
Thank you guys. Sorry I got logged off again. But Yuri, thanks man. It was really great chatting with you about all our
adventures.
Remembering all our love. I mean, two of us have done that one great ride together, and then of course there's all this motorcycle exchange that happened.
But for now, I'm going to live with the memory of our Bombay to Goa motorcycle trip, which I will always cherish, because Purab is a great guy to travel with. I've actually traveled with Purab on many occasions, but that motorcycle trip was truly magical. We had some great times together. We spoke about a lot of things, especially living in the city. One doesn't get opportunities to, have like meaningful conversations because everybody's either on their phone or they're constantly thinking about the next thing to do. But when you're on a motorcycle trip, you actually get time to slow things down a bit, even though you're on a fast machine. And that's exactly what the Passport to Freedom with Harley-Davidson is all about. It's slowing things down to experience the journey. And Purab, thank you so much for making this a super experience. Love you always.
Thank you,
And,
Yudi. Good luck with season 2 of the show, yeah?
Super. Thanks a lot, brother. So much fun. Take care. Stay safe.
Hello.
Hey, Hossein. He's really good looking, you know. You're going to have a lot of trouble keeping the ladies away. Why don't you put him up a little bit? Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. How are you doing? Oh. So, Purab, when are you getting him? When are you getting him a motorcycle? All right, Purab.
Okay, buddy, yeah. I'm
It definitely does.
You're gone mute, so I'm going to log off this time. Yeah, I can see you now. Hey.
See you. Have fun. Take care.
Okay, bye,
God bless,
bye,
Purab,
guys. Thanks
and
for logging in.
speak soon.
Thank you, Harley-Davidson.
All right.
Thank you.
That was Purab.
Bye.
Thanks you. And Harley-Davidson, thanks you for making this happen, because everybody loved to hear your conversations and your stories. So see you soon, brother. Love you. Take care.
See you. Bye.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this amazing Insta Live with Harley-Davidson and Passport to Freedom Season 2. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and the stories that Purab shared. We're going to be back on the 5th of this month with another Insta Live and another celebrity motorcyclist who's going to share his experiences on a motorcycle. So stay tuned to that. Lots of great people here who've tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, wear a helmet, don't speed unnecessarily, and try and always be safe, because that is the only thing you can do when riding a powerful machine. You need to know that you can handle the speed. You need to know you're confident about opening the throttle. Always remember, Harley-Davidson India and Harley-Davidson worldwide, they always want you to be safe on the road. So stay safe, have a great time, and it was great fun chatting with you. Thank you for joining in. Beautiful people, you made this awesome. So back again on the 5th of July with another Insta Live on the Harley-Davidson India Insta handle, with another set of amazing stories by motorcyclists who love riding motorcycles and bringing great memories back to you. Thank you once again. And do check out the Harley-Davidson India website for the new launch, which is the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S, a beautiful cruiser, which is a total beauty, very well styled, and has a lovely riding position. You'll see it once you get a chance to log on to the site. Thanks again for tuning in. Love all of you. Stay safe and goodbye.